Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Scared my cat. So let me just share this out. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. You know, I really don't even. Hi, Simka. I really don't even want to rehash all that old stuff. I don't even know like what brought me like to that point to be playing that stuff. But like I was thinking about you while I was trying to get this to upload, Simca, because you had asked me about the one tin soldier thing. And I thought to myself, I feel like when there have been these cities, hi Novias, there have been these cities that are underground, like they've uncovered, like the Byzantine. Am I saying that right? Byzantine. I learned how to say Didymus, 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 Didymus the other day. Um, when they have, found these things under places like mountains and everything, this link, this thread that I had was reading about, this on the One Tin Cup was making me think, like, did they pull, like, I feel like throughout centuries they've been pulling fast ones on people. But what brought me to the Byzantine mosaics was I don't even know how I get to where I go, but if there's okay, so in my community post, it was taking me forever to have the thumbnail uploaded to this live stream. I'll have to do it like after the fact, but on my community post, hi Nobias, hi Simka, and hello the other 5 people. I know this may not be up their alley kind of talk, you know what I mean? It may not be, but these are some of my favorites. I really enjoy research, I really, I'm just a huge history fan. And I really didn't even like where my last live stream was going. I really did not care for it. Uh, couldn't even answer their questions of why I was even going back there and revisiting. So for that, I'll apologize. I will apologize for that. So I didn't want to waste though the amount of research, right? No, yes, but also that Byzantine mosaic. Now, see, here's the thing. In that community post that I put up, which I wanted to have as the thumbnail for this, I will, but I have to do it later. Cesare Borgia, okay? Cesare Borgia is in that thumbnail that I put up on my community post. He was Alexander the Sixth, Pope Alexander the Sixth son. Now, people were wanting to say that he was the inspiration for how Jesus looked, but because Pope Alexander had destroyed all of the, from what he thought, all of the original paintings and things of um, Jesus. But the Byzantine mosaics, which were like hundreds of years before, but encrusted with so much treasure, Simca, is where I thought, I wonder if, like there's been so many times where, they say the Masonics, Masons, right? That's what they are, though, right? Were they original Masons, the Masonics? I mean, I went down a huge rabbit hole. Let's just put it that way. Simca, no BS. Do I still have you guys with me? I gotta just have conversation because I don't mind, deep. I don't know if it bothers people though, like because I enjoy history. Thank you, no, yeah. Man, I just went down such a very deep rabbit hole with the whole. Well, first we started with the Book of Enoch, which was you were saying, and where he was mentioned. And then it says that, which always really gets me, is that, and I know this is probably going to get some people in a certain kind of way, but man, those Catholics, I'm just saying, to me, it seemed like the Holy Roman Empire, I feel like they kind of thought they were their own entity and were, it didn't matter. I mean, they fed Christians to the lions too, Um, it didn't matter who it was. They were dead set on just having everything. I feel like, though, the mean and cruel things that they did could only come from like evilness. Like, I mean, it just really seems like they were, a lot of these. I mean, I can't even. I was even reading about. I know this is probably going to touch on a thing, but Muhammad, right? Because I needed to know, like, okay. So I was reading about Muhammad, and he really didn't show any kind of miracles or anything. And I'm not even saying that Jesus did, but they say the miracle, but I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm saying that a lot of times I get very confused between the whole story of Moses, like him parting the Red Sea and, doing all, and that the miracles Jesus, but then again, he could have been a healer. Some people are capable of having healing power. Plus, do I got you guys with me? Am I like, am I a lot? I don't know. Because I don't know if I'm offending people when See, it says, "Behold, the Lord come with 10,000s of his saints to execute judgment upon all, and to convict all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have." Okay, so I don't think that people can be mean through their whole life and then be forgiven on their deathbed. Yes, he is. And so that's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. That's what I wanted to say. That is what I wanted to say. Yes, that's what it appeared to me. Yes. Yeah. That, and he wouldn't show any miracles or any proof of anything. He just was like, one of those guys. He married a rich lady and was just, doing whatever. I mean, you know how they say Jesus was a carpenter? I'm curious, how do they know that? I live, laugh, love. Yeah, I didn't like my last life, and I apologize for it. I don't know where it went, why it went that way. It's my fault. Um, I just wanted to end that life because it wasn't what I wanted my life to be. I've been putting a lot. No, he didn't finally get to me. Live, laugh, love. No, but live, laugh, love. See, that's the thing. There's something different about like Jesus. I never doubted that he existed, and God, I always, I mean, I've gone through times, but I'll tell you, if you guys don't mind, I'll tell you the story of like where at my point in life, I was 16, that I believed, because I feel like a lot of people, they need to, I don't know, some kind of an epiphany, you know what I mean? And um well, I feel like God is in all of us. I think the fact that the miracle of childbirth, or just the heart and loving of, people. And but I will tell you what made me pick up a Bible, even though my sister had bought me a Bible. So I did and still have that Bible too. I packed with my boxes and just with the books. And I just kind of, but that my sister that passed away, she was, a person who believed, and stuff. So when she died, I was real angry, you know. I don't think he much had a choice, but I think we need to change now. Yeah, people need to change, and it can't be one person trying to do that. I mean, because you know what happens? They get crucified. They get crucified. They get crucified. And I think it really does take an army, and that, and I don't mean like an army, like me people coming in that want to take this and take over that, and things like that. But I mean that we have to have faith that even if there's, two, three, four, or just one, you've got to believe that God's on your side, and that is bigger than any army. And, no, they are not. And I do not believe. And do you guys? I mean, is it just me? I just don't believe that, when Hitler was, on his deathbed, that he could be, in front of God, and be forgiven. I don't believe that. And I don't believe heaven is segregated either into religious groups. I think he loves us all, but I think some people are, yeah, no way he was forgiven. And I do think, like, say, like, okay, say Ed Kemper's mom, who, he killed his mom. Um, she probably was like wanting him to not be a serial killer, I'm sure, you know. Probably couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. I don't even think Ed Kemper would think he's going to heaven, but he might be in heaven for his mom, so that his mom, in her heaven, she gets that son that she wanted, you know? Yeah, there's no way. Exactly. And he wouldn't say that if he didn't think that people were going to end up going there. You mean Yul Brynner? Just like a lot, man. There's been a lot of, yeah, most people. But Live, Laugh, Love, can I just say to you that you've probably listened to me all along, but knew that if you spoke in here, you'd be harassed by your friends who never spoke of things like this. I appreciate you being here wholeheartedly, but I just want you to realize that you are compromising your own conviction. But you should always feel brave and speak out your faith and your love of God. despite where you are, whom it's to, or what the consequences will be. Thank you, Live, Laugh, Love, because I like your name. And I don't want you to compromise your own convictions. You know, for a while I've been, talking about, because I always want to know, but I do believe. I believe. Like the other night when we were talking about the mala and the 200 eyes, man, I feel like we get healed. There's totally more to, but this is and can be heaven on earth if we were to respect it just like we would if we were in heaven. We wouldn't get to They wouldn't get to heaven and be like, oh, the streets are paved with gold, let's dig them up, right? They're not paved with gold. They're paved with, I could never understand, what does that mean? What is it when it says the road to hell is paved with good intentions? What does that mean? And the reason for my what I was saying, the and even that I feel like was, it's so obvious that there is something more, you know, obvious that there is. I don't think that, like, when they're trying to copy people with AI and clones and try to figure this out, try to figure that. Oh, Simca, thank you. So I see what you're saying. So kind of like what, um well, you don't have to believe in Christ, but you could believe in God. I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe in Christ. I'm saying I believe in his name. Jesus. I feel like they started some new religion with that. But Christ, that meant what? Again, you guys, anointed one? Is that what it means? Thank you, never deny. Thank you, live, laugh, love. I believe in him. Oh yeah, I believe that he existed. I do. I believe that I was amazed to find out that it's Psalm 22, right? Psalm 22. That's right, live, laugh, love. That's right. why I ended the last live stream and you know, we started this one. They weren't meant for each other. They weren't meant for each other. I couldn't even, by the end of my last live stream, I couldn't even answer the question of why I had went there. I knew how much research I'd done for, you know, to have all these, you know, discussions, because I'm not even trying to teach something. I'm just learning every day. I'm learning every day, and I think people can become better people because of people they know. I think that to live in hard to leave behind is never to die, and that I do believe that makes me feel better to believe that this isn't in vain, and to see, you know, that comment today, Izzy put, saying it makes her sick when I talk about the Bible. That's something. Or when, you know, Prue had said, oh, you forgot to tell everybody that we had ended the Bible study, said our prayers for everybody we wanted to pray for. Okay. And then they moved on to bash me about paper plates and plastic, silver, you know, plasticware. And exactly. Yes, live, laugh, love. Absolutely. Yep. 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 I believe that. True. True. Because they find that, I'm sorry, don't they constantly find the people, they go, oh, and Jewish, you know, like as if Jewish is a DNA and not just a religion. So absolutely, you know, but maybe at some point in some of the people that we see, they don't want to believe in it. So maybe if they don't want to believe in it, maybe doesn't mean that he isn't in all of us. Like some people are fake. Like I feel like that, you know, Muhammad was, in my opinion, in my studying of them. And I would like to say that although I was like, okay, so are they saying that Cesare Borgia, when Alexander, you know, Alexander the Sixth, the Pope Alexander the Sixth, which is such a crooked family, the Borgias are terrible, terrible, terrible people. Um, but they had, you know, commissioned Leonardo da Vinci as, you know, because they liked his military plans. This man was just an amazing person. I feel like he just was such a, oh my God, he could draw precise aerial bird's eye view maps without flying, you know? But they say that him and, you know, Cesaro Borgia and Leonardo became lovers. And that if you compare, like if you go to my community post where you've got Cesaro is the first image that is in that thumbnail, right? The second image is of Jesus. And the third one, the furthest to the right, is of the Byzantine mosaic, which were found, I believe, like somewhere like under a mountain somewhere, like in where you had said before, Novia, something like that. I believe it was somewhere around there. Um, and he looks very, and that was hundreds of years before Cesare Borgia. So I don't feel like people have been not something like that. You know what I mean? Wherever the Byzantine mosaics were found. Now, what really got me was that, they turn. Is that no? I don't think that was. Was that? Is that where? Not the Shroud of Turin. No, it was the other night when we were talking, and we were talking about Well, you could look it up. What kind of research assistant are you? So Surviving Buzzballs made a video just now that came across. I don't know why they have to tag me and everything. Saying that yeah, it's the Dead Sea Scrolls. Yes, that's what we were talking about. Is saying karma's a bitch. Well, you said it. You said it. Whoever Surviving Buzzballs is, you said it. What is okay? See, man, this is what I'm saying about. I really, 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 I'm just so. That's what it is. Qumran. Okay, Qumran caves. Fascinating about the timing of it too, Simca, wasn't it right after all that had happened, the whole Holocaust and everything, and then they get fucking unveiled. Like, you fuckers fucked up, kind of in a way. Hellion, Hellenization. Is that something to do with like hell? See, all of this is just there's so much research that really. Now that's where they found the book of Enoch, too. See, so they had their library full of stuff. Live that love, you're still here, right? We're still good, right? Like, because we do go through like a lot of different stuff. So lyrics. Now, the group that did One Tin Cup were Satanists. And isn't that something? Isn't that something? Did you know that? I'm not playing the music in this because I don't want this video to go to waste. Plus, I didn't record it yet because I want to get that thread. I really do. And she justified it with the end of it. Sad that they were able to purchase. Isn't that awful? Purchasing those are like, oh my gosh, I hope Love Laugh Love didn't leave her. I'm gonna read the words though, okay? For One Tin Soldier. Listen, children, to a story that was written long ago about a kingdom on a mountain and the valley folk below. On the mountain was a treasure buried deep beneath a stone, and the valley people swore they'd have it for their own. Go ahead and hate your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven. You can justify it in the end. Wow. Now, do you think that means that the people that will say, no, go ahead and be mean, you could justify it in those last minutes of like Judgment Day? There won't be any trumpets blowing come the Judgment Day on the bloody morning after one tin soldier rides away. Do you think that's Jesus? Or, right, Dark Light, yeah. That's what the treasure is just peace, right? Oh. But the treasure is that there should be peace on earth. Well, I get it, sarcasm. But did you know that the girl who sings it, she was a saint? That's what I had read, and I forgot to fucking keep the link, and I was like, oh shit. It says, uh, so the people of the valley sent a message up the hill, asking for the buried treasure, tons of gold for which they'd kill. Came an answer from the kingdom, with our brothers we will share all the secrets of our mountain, all the riches buried there. So, oh, don't say that, Deb. Don't say that. Unless you mean it. Unless you mean it. Uh, yeah, from music. From music. No shit. Who's leaving again? Deb? I hope not. So the people said they would share it. I don't know. Came an answer from the kingdom. With our brothers we will share. Okay, I already said that. Now the valley cried with anger. Why would they be angry if people were willing to share? According to YouTube theory, if you share something, that makes it fair game, I guess. So they were willing to share their story, their treasures, their what, and um, I don't know who Sunny is. But whoever that person is, they're obviously the person who must have done it or something. I don't know. I get it constantly from them, so it doesn't really matter. I'll just keep talking. Um, I hope Live Laugh Love didn't get scared away. Now I had seen this movie. I just had not ever like looked into the song. Mount your mount your horses. Draw your sword. Sword? Sword? Is it sword or sword? And they killed the mountain people, so they won their just reward. Would that be, what do they used to call it? Up there on Moral Mountain. Remember they would make fun of Moral Mountain? True, Dark Light. Yeah, they used to joke around like in another community and say, "Oh, they're all up on their moral mountain," talking about like people with morals. Now they stood beside the treasure on the mountain, dark and red. Turn the stone, and which beneath it, peace on earth was all it said. Go ahead and hate your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven. You can justify it in the end. And then I still don't really understand the one tin soldier part, though. That I really still don't understand. Oh, that's a good dot. Wow, okay. Constantinople. 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 Am I saying that right? Lost and reclaimed. In 1204, a monumentous event forever changed the history of the Eastern Roman, Byzantine Empire, Western Europeans embarking on the Fourth Crusade. The Fourth Crusade. And those crusades were exactly like what it sounds like in that song, Like they were just so embarking on the Fourth Crusade diverged from their path to Jerusalem and sacked and occupied the Byzantine capital of Constantinople, modern Istanbul. The Crusaders established a Latin empire. Hi, Simca. Did you see what Nobies said? Maybe the definition of the one tin soldier is Tin Man had no heart, maybe? But these crusades that they would go on, huh? Wow. The Crusaders established a Latin empire in Byzantine territory and subjected Byzantine Christians to the religious authority of the Pope in Rome. Isn't that something? So they had changed to Christianity, but they wanted them to be subjected to the religious authority of the Pope in Rome. The Crusaders also converted Hagia Sophia, Constantinople's great cathedral, built in the 6th century by Emperor Justinian, into a Latin Catholic church. Yeah, salvation is free. I wonder why they thought that was, I wonder why they wouldn't have fought back. Like, in 1261, the Byzantines recaptured their capital and crowned Michael the Eighth Pelagius, whatever, as emperor. Wow, man. So they had just like wiped out, it seems by this point, Jews at this point. And they were just going around like, oh, we're on a crusade. Yeah. See, with that red cross on them. And I have to wonder about the red cross. Just not kidding, but whatever. Well, in the beginning, though, it wasn't a war. But I feel like the war between good and evil was the first war going. And he was like, okay, well, you didn't have faith in me. Like, I told you not to do this, and then you did it. Yeah, time of the Catholics, which really still is, right? Right, but in the beginning of it, it was like the Garden of Eden, right? I mean, but I could see how people could be like, well, why doesn't he come down and like, remember the seven, like circle it seven, remember that? And the walls of Jericho come down and all that. I feel like miracles. Okay, so say that miraculously someone did get, say that it wasn't me who got cured, right? But it was somebody that they liked that got, I didn't get cured. I'm just saying hypothetically, because they seem to keep saying that a spot in the sternum resolved means that I'm cured. I didn't say that. I'd love to be. I'm glad that they're manifesting it. Let's all manifest that. Let's manifest that for everyone. I mean, really. But to say, oh, well, we were done praying for everyone we wanted to pray for, so it was okay then to start, bashing the crap out of SG and you know, um, but then again, I say, Adam and Eve ate the apple, or apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? Absolutely, Cynthia. Absolutely. Instead, they've just used that as their whole, now it's the whole thing saying, yeah, I have no problem as soon as I get them in the mail, putting them side by side. My camera's pretty shitty, but whatever. Uh, but I have no problem. Then, next thing there's somebody who will say, she's got a random report reading it and stuff. But no, it didn't say apple. Yeah, just fruit. Yeah. So it says, inaugurating what historians refer to as the late Byzantine or Paleo Paleolog Paleogen, whatever you guys know, period. A new Orthodox patriarch of Constantinople was enthroned in Hagia Sophia in September 1261. This is all was all going on in Jerusalem. Wow, what a shame. And Justinian's great church was used for the Byzantine rite once again. Yep. I feel bad Live Laugh Love like disappeared. I feel like maybe somebody texted her or something and said, you don't get to talk in there or something. So the monumental mosaic depicts Christ flanked by the Virgin Mary and John the Baptist. Odd, right? Because John the Baptist was already dead. Isn't that odd? Approximately 2.5 times larger than life. The looming stature of these three figures reflects their importance. It says the monumental mosaic depicts Christ flanked by the Virgin Mary and John the Baptist, approximately 2.5 times larger than life. The looming stature, not statue, stature, is the mosaic, of these three figures reflects their importance, although actually it's not the picture of him on the cross. So it could be like in heaven. Because, so when did, yeah, because in my community post, I have a picture of the mosaic. It's on the furthest right hand side. I feel like he's already so, but it's not the whole thing. It's um of these three figures reflects their importance in Byzantine culture. Christ, the Son of God, appears at the center of the composition and is labeled XCXC, the Greek abbreviation for Jesus Christ. Well, they found it. They found it. Okay. In like 1200s. It says Byzantines viewed the Virgin Mary, Christ's mother, as a powerful protector. She appears at Christ's right hand and is labeled Mother of God. Okay, that's. Hi, Willie. Well, in that, they also said that his hair would be woolly. Not Willie. John was a prophet and relative of Christ. Yeah, his mom was Elizabeth, I believe. Was it? You do think it was a fake, Simcat? The Shroud of Turin? Kind of me too. I heard it was. I heard it was authenticated to not be real, but somebody probably took it anyway, like, right? Or do you mean his hair was woolly? Well, that's another thing too. Like they were saying, well, I mean, people do have. You do? Okay. It says John, okay, who's preaching and baptized, prepared the way for Christ's ministry in the Gospels. Mm. He appears on Christ's left with the label, get this, Saint John the Forerunner. Have you guys ever heard that before? Have you? Saint John the Forerunner? John the Baptist was the Holy Spirit too. Yeah, they said it was woolly. Now, here's another thing is that, I'm says okay, Saint John the Forerunner. Yes, he was. No BS. Yes, he was. And Mary was Elizabeth's cousin. Yes, sir. Yeah. And it was what? Yeah. Let me look. Yeah. Just don't know. No, I will find it. It says, for the kingdom of heaven is like the owner of an estate who went out in the morning along with the dawn to hire workmen for his vineyard. Sounds like he's going to Home Depot. After agreeing with the laborers for a denarius a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And going out about the third hour, 9 o'clock, he saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And he said to them, You go also into the vineyard, and whatever is right I will pay you. And they went. He went out again about the sixth hour, noon, and then the ninth hour, 3 o'clock, he did the same. And about the 11th hour, 5 o'clock, he went out and found still others standing around, and said to them, Why do you stand here idle all day? Okay, so this is Matthew right here, right? And I think what he's trying to say is, since it's the New Testament, that you can start being, rotten right at the end of, but at the end of the day, you come in and say, okay, now I'll start being a certain kind of way, and you'll get the same. No, 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 no. I can totally see that it says, these men who came last worked no more than an hour, and yet you have made them rank with us, who have borne the burden and the scorching heat of the day. But he answered them, Friend, I am doing you no injustice. Did you not agree with me for a denarius? So he scammed the fucking people who had, oh my God. Yeah, because he's paid all of them 1 denarii. It was a bargain for money. Take what belongs to you and go. I choose to give to this man hired last the same as I give to you. I see what you're saying, Simka. Okay. I can see what you're saying. So, okay. So then what? Am I not permitted to do what I choose with what is mine? Or do you begrudge my being generous? Is your eye evil because I am good? So those who now are last will be first then, and those who now are first will be last then. For many are called, but few are chosen. See, now let me just say where my, even one of that, and God said, I will, if they repent. Okay, 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 okay. So, you know how earlier in my live stream somebody came in and they were saying, what you said about God, we'll never forget, and this, that, and the, right? Okay. Um, I repented for that, right? I did. I felt bad. I didn't say it about God, by the way. It wasn't about God. It was about, a person who was saying, like mean stuff. And they were always saying I was an evil demon. And I felt bad. And I have made apologies. I mean, I think you guys know me by now. I really do. What you see is what you get. I'm sorry if it's disappointing. But what I'm saying is that, thank you, Simchat. And they made fun of me for that. And they still keep bringing. And just today, I read Izzy, when she tries to talk about the Bible, it makes me sick. Why? Why does it make you sick, Izzy? Like, why can't you just leave me alone, Izzy? Why do you have to keep doing that? Like, I mean, I don't understand that. I'm not understanding. Says, and for her to now be talking about the Bible is absolutely disgusting to me. She is a wicked person, and her day of judgment will come. And e-beggars lets that sit there, probably even hearted it. I'm the type of person who sometimes I think, like anyone. Good night, Dark Light. Dark Light's been around. They know me. That's why they're probably going to bed. They're probably like, fuck this bitch. She talks so much. But you know what? I don't mind talking and doing, like live streams that don't get monetized, right. So even if, no BS, you do evil your whole life and you're Hitler though, and like you get an image of, thank you, Dark Light. I was only kidding around with you though, because I know that we've been friends for a very long time. A very, 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 very long time, and have a wonderful love of music. And I mean, I'm saying I like conversation, so that's something that I value with people and stuff. So even just when it's me and if it's me and Novia, me and Simca, all of our 3, 4, 5 people, um, I really enjoy conversation. It's not about isn't genuine repentance, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like somebody who says, "Oh, you failed to mention that the Bible study had ended. We didn't just go on to bashing you and, putting down paper plates and, plastic silverware and talking about buying a Louis Vuitton purse and hiding it from our loved one because we knew it was wrong, so we hid it." And then that woman had the audacity to say, "I think you owe a public apology to, you know, for saying that and explain that the Bible study had ended. We had prayed for everybody we wanted to." It's like, oh my God, that's so mean. That's so mean. I feel like Live Laugh Love felt like a certain kind of way too. Like she was here and enjoying. No, I don't put a lot of weight on her words. I'm still here. We're still here talking. And did you see my community post back to her? I was like, that link that you sent me to was so convoluted. They're not even there. Maybe we're here for their benefit, to teach them something. Like, I feel bad if Live, Laugh, Love all of a sudden felt a certain kind of way. decided she didn't want to like outwardly praise. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. Maybe, a tin soldier is just like just tin. Like, isn't tin like real, like weak? I mean, any way you look at it, it's like, I was happy to see them here. Always a man of integrity. That is what matters. Thank you. Thank you, Simta. Thank you. That's what matters. Like, prudently freaking, she doesn't know. Nobody should know about her, you know, like insisting on, you know, uh, yeah, 100. I said, go, well, just send it then to the tire place, as, no, no, no. And then next thing, that $100 became 175. And then everybody knew about it. It was like, oh my God, I didn't even get a chance to like send any payment. And then, and those are two of the people who are supposed to be the most holiest people, as they like pretend. But I'll tell you what, that Alexander the Sixth, Pope Alexander the Sixth, they were dicks, man. Here we go, right here. Luke, Luke, okay? This is Luke 1:1. Since, as it is well known, many have. I just flipped the book open and it went to it. No BS, can you imagine it? Can you? Can you? Because I gave up looking before and I flipped it open just now and look at this stuff. Luke 1:1. Since, as it is well known, many have undertaken to put in order and draw up a thorough narrative of the surely established deeds which have been accomplished and fulfilled in and among us, exactly as they were handed down to us by those who from the official beginning of Jesus' ministry were eyewitnesses and ministers of the word, that is, of the doctrine concerning the attainment through Christ of salvation, kingdom of God. Okay. It seemed good and desirable to me, and so I have determined also, after having searched out diligently and followed all things closely, and traced accurately the course from the highest to the minutest detail from the very first, to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus. So I guess that appears in Acts 1:1, which I would flip back to, but I want to just get this out because This is very interesting to me. Is it interesting to you guys too? At least 2 people gotta tell me you guys are still with me here. It says 16. There we got it. There we have it. All right. My purpose is that you may know the full truth and understand with certainty and security against error the accounts and doctrines of faith of which you have been informed and in which you have been orally instructed. In the days when Herod was king of Judea, there was a certain priest whose name was Zachariah of the daily service, the division of Abia, and his wife was also a descendant of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they both were righteous in the sight of God, walking blamelessly in all the commandments and requirements of the Lord. But they had no child, for Elizabeth was barren, and both were far advanced in years. Now, while on duty, serving as priest before God, hi, Pink Owl. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I love that avatar. Now, while on duty, serving as priest before God in the order of his division, as was custom of the priesthood, it fell to him by lot to enter the sanctuary of the temple of the Lord and burn incense. And all the throng of people were praying outside in the court at the hour of the incense burning. And there appeared to him an angel of the Lord, standing at the right side of the altar of incense. And when Zachariah saw him, he was troubled, and fear took possession of him. But the angel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zachariah, because your petition was heard, and your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you must call his name John. God is favorable, and you shall have joy and exult delight, and many will rejoice over his birth. For he will be great and distinguished in the sight of the Lord, and he must drink no wine nor strong drink, and he will be filled with and controlled by the Holy Spirit, even in and from his mother's womb. And he will turn back and cause to return many of the sons of Israel to the Lord their God. And he will himself go before him in the spirit and power of Elijah, to turn back the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the disobedient and the incredulous and unpersuadable to the wisdom of the upright, which is the knowledge and holy love of the will of God, in order to make ready for the Lord a people perfectly prepared in spirit. A people. A people. A people. In spirit, adjusted and disposed and placed in the right moral state. And Zacharias said to the angel, "By what shall I know and be sure of this? For I am an old man, and my wife is well advanced in years." Now, earlier when we were talking about Muhammad, he said it was Gabriel. Yeah, because I think Elizabeth was a cousin of Mary, like also from the house of Aaron. Now, Gabriel is the one that supposedly, right, allegedly, not doubting, went to, Muhammad in the cave because he was, hanging around because he married a rich woman. And, um, and Gabriel came and so-called, here, write these down, and said, and then Muhammad's like, oh, I'm illiterate, and like Gabriel was choking him, and then finally he was like, okay, no, seriously, I read it. And then finally Gabriel was like, okay, well, just remember them then. So that's why Muhammad could never show any proof. So of that anyway, and then nothing else they asked. But so says, and the angel replied to him, I am Gabriel. I stand in the very presence of God, and I have been sent to talk to you and bring you this good news. Now behold, you will be and will continue to be silent and not able to speak till the day when these things take place, because you have not believed what I told you. But my words are of a kind which will be fulfilled in the appointed and proper time. Wow, so just because he asked that question, like, by what shall I know and be sure of this? For I am an old man and my wife is well advanced in years. He said, now you won't be able to talk until it happens. That's rough. Now the people kept waiting for Zechariah, and they wondered at his delaying so long in the sanctuary. Hold up a minute. You guys still with me? But when he did come out, he was unable to speak to them, and they clearly perceived that he had seen a vision in the sanctuary, and he kept making signs to them. Still, he remained dumb. That's that's hard, but thank you guys. Thank you. Did you know about this, Nobias? And when his time of performing priestly functions was ended, he returned to his own house. Now, he probably couldn't be much of a priest anymore, right? Unless he's burning just incense and he can't pray like out loud, though, or give sermons. I don't know if they did, but now, after this, his wife Elizabeth became pregnant, and for 5 months she secluded herself entirely, saying, I have hid myself, because thus the Lord has dealt with me in the days when he, okay, there's a word here, if somebody could look it up for me. It's D-E-I, D-E-I-G-N-E-D, Deemed, okay, Deemed, D-E-I-G-N-E-D. Well, remember we were talking about John the Baptist? And they said, Forsaken one and that Byzantine stuff, like, has deigned to look on me to take away my reproach among men. Now, in the 6th month after that, the angel Gabriel was sent from God to a town of Galilee named Nazareth, to a girl never having been married, and a virgin engaged to be married to a man whose name was Joseph, a descendant of the house of David. And the virgin's name was Mary. Now, who was Gabriel? I know they say he's an angel, but I'm just wondering. Deigned. But where's Gabriel originally from? What role did he play? I need research assistants. Research assistants. And he came to her and said, Hail, O favored one, endued with grace. The Lord is with you, blessed, favored of God. Are you before all other women? But when she saw him, she was greatly troubled and disturbed and confused at what he said, and kept revolving in her mind what such a greeting might mean. It says, not Dean, it says Deigned. Same thing, kind of, I guess. Dean, whatever. And the angel said to her, Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found grace. Free, spontaneous, absolute favor and loving kindness with God. And listen, you will become pregnant and will give birth to a son, and you shall call him Jesus. He will be great, eminent, and will be called the Son of the Most High, and the Lord God will give to him the throne of his forefather David. Yeah, NED at the end. That's disturbing. I'm going to need to do more research into Gabriel. Like, where did Gabriel come from? Okay, so she says, The Lord has dealt with me in the days when he deigned to look on me, to take away my reproach among men. To give something. What's a reproach among men? What does that mean? But I know, but why? Where'd he come from in history? I mean, who is he really? Like, I'm not trying to be any kind of way. All right, I'm gonna go to Dan. Is that okay? Dan86, is it? Okay. Is there a book of Dan or Daniel? Would it be Dan or Daniel that I'm looking for here? He was always an angel. Since when? I mean, I'm not saying anything, but wouldn't he have to have died to be an angel? Or there would be other beings, wouldn't they? Where is Daniel in the Bible? Okay. 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 Who says that though? Like, why? Like, okay. Okay. So, all right. So, here's what I'm thinking. Okay. If you go to the Old Testament, right? You go to the Old Testament, and here is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my troubled and alarming my chair. Okay. Okay. Of interpreting angels' information in my heart and mind. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared to me, Daniel, after the one that appeared to me at first. And I saw in the vision, and it seemed that I was at Shushan, the palace or fortress, in Susa, the capital of Persia, which is in the province of Elam. And I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a single ram which had 2 horns. Okay. Uh, when I, even I, Daniel, had seen the vision, I sought to understand it. Then behold, there stood before me one Gabriel with the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of the river Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man Daniel understand the vision. So he came near where I stood. And when he came, I was frightened and fell on my face. But he said to me, understand, O Son of Man, for the fulfillment of the vision belongs to events that shall occur in the time of the end. And I just don't even know, like, and through his powers, and the power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall corrupt, destroy, astonishing, shall prosper. And I, Daniel, fainted and was sick for several days. Afterwards, I rose up to the king's business and wondered at the vision. Um, man, I, I, I believe that there was a lot of scribes back then that it sounds like, when he's talking about a vision, they go back to Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great suddenly died at the height of his power, and his empire was divided into 4 parts: east, west, north, and south, ruled over by 4 generals. This horn of Dan is not to be confused with the little horn of Dan. This one is a prophetic forecast of Antiochus Epiphanes, who came out of Syria, one of the four dynasties into which Alexander's empire was divided, and became a great conqueror. Hating God, he profaned the temple. See, so everybody doesn't have Jesus in them. You know, like everybody doesn't. Everybody doesn't. Hating God, he profaned the temple and persecuted the Jews terribly. However, he serves as a type of the little horn of Dan, the even more ruthless beast of the last days. Yeah, like it's just always been a battle of, yeah, I can't even, I just, you read the old temple and this Daniel here, man, that's fucking really, that's pretty sad. That's pretty bad. That's really, oh, sad shit right there. Because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples and palaces my precious treasures, and have sold the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem to the sons of the Grecians, that you may remove them far from their border. Behold, I will stir them up out of the place to which you have sold them, and will return your deed or retaliation upon. I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they will sell them to the saviors of the nation, to a nation far off, for the Lord has spoken. Now, proclaim this among the nations, prepare war, stir up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Wow. Wow. Even somebody who likes killing could find what they wanted here, I guess, right? Doesn't the gate of Damascus still stand? Good night, Simca. Doesn't that still stand? So, okay. Good night, Simka. Thus says the Lord, for three transgressions of Moab, descendants of Lot, and for four for multiplied delinquencies, I will not reverse the punishment of it, or revoke my word concerning it, because he burned the bones of the king of Edom, Esau's descendants, in two lines. So I will send a fire upon Moab. Now I wonder where Moab would be considered to be, like, now. You know what I'm saying? Like present day. This isn't even true. Um, Moab, Moab. M as in Mary, Oab. Man, like, so I don't even understand this. Like, does he like the Jews or not? Woe to those who are at ease in Zion, and to those on the mount of Samaria who are careless and feel secure, the notable men of the chief, because chosen by God, of the nations to whom the house of Israel comes. Oh, yes, he does. How could they even know there was a planet Saturn? Isn't that crazy? They're talking about it right here. They say that gods of a planet. Look, I'm going to tell you to look this up right here. In Amos, okay, Amos 5:26. Yeah, I wish I had like I knew how to like share screen and stuff. Amos 5:26. They go, names for the gods of the planet Saturn. Your images of your star god, which you made for yourself, and you will do so again. Isn't it crazy? Like, is this really in the Bible, in the Old Testament? It's the Old Testament. In Amos 5:26. Can anybody just look that up and tell me if they're reading the same thing I am? Isn't that crazy? Is this like right here? I mean, like, what? Your star god? That's insane. Did you guys know that? Hey, like, there's only like 13 people. Lucky number 13 that even care. But what I'm saying is just, that's incredible. You who read your, okay, I don't understand. Like, okay. I will rise up against you, a nation, O house of Israel, says the Lord, the God of hosts, and they shall afflict and oppress you to the entire limits of Israel. That's pretty fucked up. I mean, seriously, he either liked him or he didn't. It seems like maybe a tin soldier is like what was on top of that mountain, and they all just didn't fight. Like they were just tin soldiers, and they just didn't fight. And to, you have to. Who can tell? God may turn and revoke his sentence against us when we have met his terms and turn away from his fierce anger. So we, I think there are people, those who pay regard to false, useless, and worthless idols forsake their own mercy and loving kindness. But as for me, I will sacrifice to you with the voice of thanksgiving. I will pay that which I have vowed, salvation and deliverance. And the Lord spoke to the fish, and it vomited out Jonah. I'm just saying, I think there was a lot of different writers back then, and somebody read the Old Testament, and they said, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to grab a person, good news, and, you know, and I mean, if somebody doesn't know how somebody looks and they appear in a man's form, couldn't it have possibly happened that there was a lot of false people there, doing bad things in the name of, God and stuff, saying, well, this is going to happen to you. And I just, gotta be real careful with the Bible. It's there, sometimes. It's a rabbit hole. But when the Borgias can become popes, there's a problem. That's just so. Yeah. Cesare Borgia was the son of illegitimate son of Alexander the Sixth, Pope Alexander the Sixth. Cesare was initially groomed for a career in the church. Following school in Perugia and Pisa, Cesare studied law. He was made bishop of Pamplona at the age of 15. I mean, like, come on now. Like as if that, at this point now, we're in the 1400s, late 1400s, right before America was discovered, right before, like, Columbus. Columbus had to sail the ocean blue because of the Spanish Inquisition and the killing of the Jews then, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. In the meantime, I'm still unsure, like, why Muslim is like one of the leading religions in the world. I just, I don't know. Is it because they really did have what they would consider gold in their land? Because I know that in Israel it's like sand and there really isn't oil or anything. But how did the Muslim religion get so rich that they were actually giving Catholicism a run for their money? Um, but I do know why things happen in life because if I was to start playing like evilness right now, right, uh, there'd be like a jump. But when you talk like having a person who puts me down for bringing my kid to the library, but doesn't know how to pronounce Notre Dame, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't those kind of thing, Nostradamus, that kind of stuff is like, and then says, "Can you clear that word prophet up for me?" Like that kind of stuff, like, and they're, mm, yeah, that's why it's so hard for that stone. Peace on earth. Oh, okay, yeah, shit. Well, all these people got murdered just so that we could see peace on earth, and yet even the movie that it appeared in, and the fact that the people who sang the song were Satanists, you know? In fact, she was in a group that did the song, and they only picked her to be in on the soundtrack. And you know how most people would be like, oh, well, this is my group, these are my friends, I'm not going to do that to them. She had no problem. She was like, and they said, well, what about the religious, tones of the song? She was like, yeah, but it also says hate thy neighbor or hate this, hate that. So, I mean, they just find any kind of, but when you look at the people who have come from their line, they want to kill off a bloodline of Jesus and the Jews and that kind of thing, of God. They want to kill that bloodline off because there is a bloodline of some fucking pretty evil motherfuckers, in my opinion. Big time. Big time. Crazy. Yeah, it has. Yep. It's like there are like two people playing a chess game, good and evil, and this is what was given to us, was life. There's no guarantee about heaven or any afterlife or anything. It's what we make of it now. It's what we make of it now. Why? Because he said what goes up must come down. Yeah, but they did that in 2000. Remember when the millennium, and then it was going to end in 2012. Remember? But you know what? It probably didn't have to end, you know? You know that? It's still amazing to me that, you know, the something line, are they the Aztec lines or whatever they are? You know, those things that you can't see, you know, they're from above. You have to see them from above. They do like a monkey or eagle, I think, is one of the things. They're like in the grass, like pictures. I don't even know if if they're still in existence. It wouldn't, you know, surprise me if some, you know, wherever they are, they decided they just build a building over them. It really wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't. I could see this generation just be like, what are you talking about? Who cares? So what? I mean, are they really still, you know, like, I'm not trying to be any kind of way, but you know, when they would sacrifice um, people, like, you know, they have like an altar and they would sacrifice people. And some people are like, oh, that's really bad to do that. You can't, like, you know, do that. You can't, you know, like shake up the chicken, oh, the blood all over them and stuff like that. You can't do that with a person either. Like, there's people who I think are convinced that by saying, you know, you, there's nothing in the Bible where it's like, yes, eat and drink the blood and eat the flesh. There's just, if there is, then I can't even. as a human being, I can honestly tell you that even though I do, well, it is symbolic, but of what? That we have to die for what's right? Wasn't Barabbas like? I mean, like, didn't he fight? Like, they call him, oh, they're insurgents. No, but then another person, oh, they're civil rights activists. Um, you know, and I can see that too because of the way he was repeating Psalm 22, um, like singing almost, because he had studied that much and that much. You know what? He had that much faith that they're in. Yeah, I get it. I do. And that they did that to him. But isn't that kind of like at the same time on the flip side? Doesn't it make it like, but on the flip side, doesn't it make you think, well, if, like you would think like the Roman Catholic Church would be like, they'd have a pretty, rough standing after killing, God in the flesh, right? But they didn't. Even they were even killing Christian, Yeah, against it, yeah. So he wouldn't be for the organized religion stuff and everything. Man, wow. Those crusades, huh? So gross. It's so gross. So gross. This person uh, wrote a comment on that Shelter from the Storm, the Bob Dylan song, and wrote to the person who I had originally had read their comment, the guy with the, stage 4 cancer that was listening to Shelter from the Storm, and it was bringing him comfort. And they wrote a comment saying, "Hi, Dan. My name is Marilyn. I'm 68. I look 50. Some think I act 30 something. I confess I'm a juvenile, one of those annoying teens. Remember how happy we were before we learned the truth about everything? We will get that happiness back again. So there is a silver lining. I've been through a lot, and I just want you to remember something. God is everywhere. Every speck in life is fleeting. and we're only here for a moment to spread as much love as we can. I'm sure you've done your share, so I'm loving you right now and want you to remember this planet is purgatory for humans, and sadly, it is hell for animals. Fortunately, we are strangers just passing through, and wherever we go next will be a paradise, and you will experience nothing but love forever. I won't see you here in this realm, but I know for sure that I will get to meet you on the other side, because you reached out and that took courage, and you reached out for company, not attention. Now, that's why it really kills me when I hear written some really ugly, ugly things. And doesn't kill me, but it just hurts my soul, my heart, kind of like, wow. Which means you are no longer a lowly human, but you have evolved into a person. That's quite an accomplishment. When you break free from the brainwashing and the indoctrination that they feed us from the moment we're born, congratulations on being wise enough to listen to Dylan. Everything he writes is genius. It's so sad and yet super comforting because it's so real about the human condition. Isn't it cool to know that a bunch of people love you and care about you that you've never even met yet? And on the flip side of that, when people will say, maybe I take things too strong and too harshly, it's because I didn't do anything to these people. Did I retaliate? Yes, I have. Because I believe that, fighting for your integrity, your truth, your honor is correct. Is correct. And to have had the multitude of strangers, complete strangers, but I've had a multitude of strangers be kind too, on the flip side. And I think it's terrible when they get harassed and threatened. Um, it's so mean. It's just live and let live, live and let live. I can't speak for the humans because I don't associate with them. They're mean spirited and they eat animals. Well, I can say I haven't eaten animals too. Animals are nothing but pure love, like newborn babies before the indoctrination. While it is wonderful that bad things don't last forever, it's sad that good things don't last forever. But like Prince said, life is just a party, and parties weren't meant to last, at least not here. We were someplace before this realm, and we will be someplace when we pass over, because we are made of love, and love never dies. So I'm giving you lots of hugs and lots of comfort, and I hope that you find peace in this message. And I realize your post is from a year ago, but even if you have already passed over, you will know about this and you will smile. Much love, always and forever, friends who haven't met yet but will. Mary. That's nice. That's nice. Izzy, and people who write the things they do, and e-beggars trying to find some way to negate something for somebody else. There's something good. It's disgusting. I just want you to know it's disgusting. But for the people who wish the best for me, and I wish the best for everyone. Thank you for being here. I know we didn't get to any real conclusion of anything, but other than live, I don't know, live and let live, kind of. happiness is spring. Encouragement means everything. Go to the library, Smith, and peace, love, and tacos. Steel sharpens steel. I appreciate you guys. You're welcome, Nobias. Thank you for the chat.